on, and I was just yeah, running around like a headless chicken, and it was just like, where's Skype? Where's Skype? Find her. Skype. No Skype. Oh, where's it gone? So I've just downloaded it, and here I am.
I didn't want anybody to think we weren't going, so I started it. Once I knew you were having trouble, I just turned it on and told everybody you'd be here sooner or later.
Yay! So hello, my lovelies, who are not here at the moment, but I know they're probably watching you. How are you doing? Eating?
Me? Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, having some popcorn.
Oh, lovely. I've managed to heat my dinner up and not had a chance to eat it, so it's winking at me next to me, looking hot and delicious, but I'm doing this now. You had a good week?
Yeah, good week.
I lost 2 pounds.
Those later.
Slam dunking myself. Yes, I'm really pleased actually. I feel lighter for it.
Good for you.
Very excited. I'll show you what I've got behind me. This is why we've been delayed. See that fridge freezer?
Oh yeah, congratulations. What is that, a strap still on it?
No, it's the most useless piece of idiotic stuff that we've waited 6 weeks for, so it's going back.
Oh, it's a polling booth.
Yeah, it's just standing in the middle of the dining room. It's literally the freezer. The little drawers were so narrow you couldn't even fit a small pizza. That might be an extra small size for as far as American pizza sizes go. But like a 10-inch pizza, that's tiny, isn't it? Wouldn't even fit in. Not that I have a lot of pizzas, but Finian does eat them.
I'd call it a small 10-inch, 10 to 12.
Yeah, it wouldn't even fit in. It's just like, right, so we've got to break all the pizzas. We'd just been shopping and I did loads of freezer stuff. The freezer had arrived. Of course, they didn't install it. Oh no, we just plug it in. So we've got kitchen cupboard doors everywhere. So we've just decided to rip it out and send it back. So we've been remodelling the kitchen. Ah!
Oh,
yay! Hi, lovelies. Let me know who is on. So where's my chat? I can open that chat box, isn't it? Yay! Jackie babes, how you doing? Jackie knows about my fridge saga. I think I might be doing my first negative video about the shop I bought it from and the appalling service.
Uh-oh, you better be careful. Yeah, they're suing people over negative videos now.
Really?
Could be an American thing, I don't know.
That's interesting.
I do know that here, if you leave a negative Yelp review for somebody, you can get sued for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I won't then. I don't want to get sued. They are going to give us all our money back. But £110, that's like $130, for them literally just to push it in a hole and plug it in and then go, oh no, we can't fit the doors. It's just like a joke. Anyway.
Didn't somebody measure this before you ordered it?
Well, I did all my research first and I was given all this wonderful information and the driver just said, oh, they have no idea what we do here. We have got a 20-minute slot to deliver. So they've taken our old freezer away. So we just had this fridge we can't use. So we went out today and we found a fabulous American-style one and we've ripped the kitchen out.
Well, good for you. Did you give them some broccoli there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Broccoli and garlic sauce.
I'm just having popcorn with a little Lowry's, just a slight, very light garlic kind of salt. I think.
Nice. I made some popcorn the other day. Absolutely not recommending you try this at home. I've got these corn on the cobs which have dried and you can actually pop corn off the cob. You just put it in the microwave.
Sure.
Oh gosh, the thing virtually caught fire after a couple of minutes and didn't work at all. The whole house, this is like over 24 hours later, stinks of popcorn. It's just like awful. I had all the doors open today, letting all the cold air in. So it wasn't very tasty, so I don't recommend that. Doing that. Don't try this at home. And I had to throw it outside the back door and it was just smoking outside in the rain.
You know, I tell people all the time that in the office they try to put styrofoam thick styrofoam containers in the microwave,
No.
and that's a mistake. You don't do that.
No.
And a lot of people don't know this, but when you put styrofoam in the microwave, it actually breaks down the little styrofoam cells, and it releases poison gas into the air.
It's not a good thing.
It's not good at all.
For sure. It's not.
Nope.
And then the contents melt everywhere. Then you have all that poison all mixed in with your food. It's not good.
Oh, it's definitely not good.
Hi, Cor. How you doing? I was about to say, this is not you. I know. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? It was meant to happen because we thought, well, why don't we just take the unit out and not have a built-in one? And then we'll have a bigger choice and it'll be cheaper. And then we went in and we found this fabulous fridge, which you're going to have, which is 3 feet wide. It's got 2 doors. It's like triple the size, and it's got an ice machine for my smoothies. And so I'm just absolutely, it was meant to happen because now we're going to have something that's 100 times better than what we would have had if it had fitted a pizza box in and I hadn't gone a bit stir crazy when I got home from work on Saturday. Still, there we go. Hi, V. Hi, Violet. How you doing, darling? Oh, it was dried corn. It was dried sweet corn I put in. And I even had something which was a novelty, pop it off the cob. And that did pop off the cob really, really well. However, the popcorn was disgusting. But I ploughed my way through it on principle because I hate waste. But it was really horrible.
So, I got a phone call on Friday from Dr. Garth Davis.
Ooh.
The doctor who wrote the book Proteinaholic. And I'd left a message at his office. I wanted to talk to him regarding maybe getting a wholesale batch of that book. So he called, and it was pretty cool. Had a good talk, and we kind of just shared a few different experiences, and he was very open, very receptive to the idea of us, distributing the book. So he put me in touch with his publisher, and I sent that letter off, email off. So I should hear something hopefully Monday.
Oh, that's so exciting!
It's great for my patients to be able to, instead of saying, "Okay, go buy this, it's $10," instead of saying, "Okay, I can give this to you right now for $4." That's what it cost me, $4. You can have it for $4. Take it home and read it. It'd be so much more.
Brilliant.
I think we'll get more people to read it. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's why they invented the whole stamped addressed envelope. When they need you to fill a form out, they put a stamped addressed envelope in there, so that all you have to do is fill the form, put it in the envelope. You don't even need to buy a stamp or find an envelope. All you have to do is sign it off, they got way more forms back from people because they were doing a lot of the legwork for them. The easier you make it for people. So I think you'll find people that would never actually go out and get the book or would forget the name of the book, or even if you've told them lots of times, it's there in their hand. They might start looking, the chances of them reading it, especially if they pay $4 for it, is just like fantastic.
Right, so that was a pretty cool thing, and so I thought I would get something ready to talk about if you guys wanted to do a theme. Did we decide we were going to do theme discussions on Sundays and then just do general chats on Thursdays? Is that what we kind of thought?
Yeah, and also, everyone's going to be fasting on Thursday, or a lot of people will. We've got some new people that literally are on their kind of 10th day of,
Good.
Whole food, plant-based. So, that's just fantastic. So, yeah, that's right. If you have any questions for us, please put them in capitals, because Dr. Gilmore can't see my feed. He can only see the questions in his. So, please put them up, my lovelies.
As far as she knows, I can't see her feed.
Oh, you're watching on another device, are you? Hi, Lindsay. Hi, Lynn.
Yeah, I might be using that weakness in that Apple program. I forget which one it was now. what's their oh, here it is right here. Yeah, the FaceTime app. Apple just announced that there is a problem with the FaceTime app that allows people to use it to tap into your computer. So for all you know, I'm just totally spying on you over FaceTime.
Is that true? Gosh.
Yeah.
Gosh, well, let the chips fall where they may.
I tell you what, you just don't never know.
No.
So let's talk about high blood pressure.
Hi, Rita. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay. So anybody know what the name of high blood pressure is? What do we call high blood pressure in the medical world?
Not high blood pressure then?
Nope.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I have no idea. Oh, who knows?
What's that?
Who knows?
What do we call high blood pressure in the world of medicine? Who knows? It's actually pretty simple. I think you guys know this.
Hi.
Got hypertension. Okay, there you go. Got it. Got a couple of hypertension.
Is that what blood? I've heard that a million. Yeah, Rita's got it. Lynn's got it. Well done. I've heard that a gazillion times on ER and Grey's Anatomy, and I had no idea that's what it was. I thought they were like really uptight.
Hypertension. All right. Let's see. Epidemiology. Approximately 1/4 to 1/3 of all adults are hypertensive. That means 1/4 to 1/3 of all people have high blood pressure. Now, these are Western people.
Yeah, I would imagine.
This does not count Nairobi, Ethiopia, Iran. I don't have data. I don't have data from Malaysia, for example.
Right.
In Western countries, okay? In Western countries.
Wow, that's lots, isn't it?
1/4 to 1/3 have high blood pressure. All right, so what is a normal blood pressure? Does anybody know what a normal blood pressure is? We'll just do a question and answer. This is kind of fun, don't you think?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Blood pressure is one. I see all these things. Oh, mine was 10/80 or 80/110. I literally don't understand what that means. So I'm really looking forward to finding out.
All right, so there are two numbers we're looking for here, right? There's the top number and the bottom number. And the top number is what we call the systolic blood pressure reading, and the bottom number is the diastolic, right?
Okay.
And the systolic pressure is the pressure that you read in the middle of a heartbeat. Okay, so when the heart pumps, it sends a shock wave or a pulse wave of blood throughout the body. We measure that, the pressure during that pulse, right? You feel your pulse when you put your finger right there, right? You can actually feel, yeah, okay, I'm still good. Yeah, you kind of feel it right there, right? Another good place you can feel it is right here. Right here. Yeah. Right there. You can feel the radial artery.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Okay, so the pressure during a beat is called the systolic pressure, and the pressure between beats, or the relaxed pressure, is the diastolic pressure. So why is there still pressure between the beats, you might ask? All right, well, I'll tell you why. Because there is an elastic component to your arterial system that maintains the pressure between the beats. Okay, so it's like putting water into a garden hose with the nozzle turned off at the end. If you turn the water on, the hose may actually swell up a little bit and have a lot of pressure in it. But even if you go turn the faucet back off, that pressure is held, right? Mm. Same thing. Okay, right. So when your heart beats, you have this surge of pressure, and then it kind of gradually goes down a little bit until the next beat.
Right, okay.
But it doesn't completely go down, right? Because if it did, right, we'd pass out.
Gosh.
And your tongue automatically comes out of your mouth, too.
Okay, really?
So,
wow.
No, it really does. It's true. I would not lie to you about that.
No, of course.
A normal blood pressure is under 120/80. That's normal.
Lynn said 90/120 and Rita said 120/60.
Yeah, so anything under 120/80. So the top number should be under 120 and the bottom number should be under 80. Now, for the longest time, 120/80 was considered normal. But now we really think normal is just under that. So pre-hypertension is between 120 over 80 and 140 over 90 or 99. I'd have to look it up a little bit. Doesn't matter.
Gosh.
We treat once it goes over 140 over 90, we treat. So if we had let's say 138 over 92, we would treat that.
Right. Gosh. So that's really interesting. So I have low blood pressure. This is what they've told me every time I've gone to give blood.
Yeah.
Because the blood just won't come out of me. So I'm there like 3 times longer than anyone else. And then I keep doing this all the time with a ball and bending my arm all the time, and it just takes forever. So is that a good thing, having low blood pressure?
It can be. It could just mean that you've got a lot of years of having, and you say low, it probably just means it's normal because everybody else is high.
Right.
All right, so it could be that when you go to get your blood drawn, you're dehydrated, and they tell you don't eat or drink anything after midnight, but really they just mean don't eat anything. And if you'll drink lots of water, it makes it easier to draw the blood. It could be you have small veins and they're just difficult to hit, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So,
I just thought I might live longer because my heart's beating less.
Well, it's usually not about the rate of the heartbeat so much as it is the volume of blood that's being moved around.
Right.
So if you have large veins, they're easy to hit. I don't know if you can see mine. You can almost see my veins are usually pretty easy to see.
Yeah.
You can see right there's a vein. Mine are easy to hit, but not everybody's. Some people it's more difficult to draw.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, they don't have any trouble taking blood from me, but I haven't ever had much blood taken from me because I'm not really ill very often, I would have the need for a blood test. But yeah, certainly when I've donated blood, it's taken forever, and they're like, a bit concerned, and then just said, oh well, never mind. I just got to loll around for a bit longer, really.
well, yeah, just have them raise your feet and kind of hang you up a little bit, and the blood will come out.
Oh right, okay. Next time I'll suggest that.
Yeah. So high blood pressure, they call it the silent killer. And I try to remind people of that when they come in and they tell me that their blood pressure is running high, and they know it's high because they always get a headache when their blood pressure goes up. That's a mistake. You don't feel high blood pressure. Well, then they say, well, then why is it when I check my blood pressure when I have a headache, it's elevated? Elementary, my dear Watson. When you get a headache, it causes stress and pushes your blood pressure up.
Right.
It's true.
So pain causes stress, I guess.
Pain
is it
will
the
cause
pain of the headache that causes the stress?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah. All right. So the problem with high blood pressure is legion. There's a lot of problems it causes. But let's talk about what causes high blood pressure.
Okay.
And so the biggest contributor to high blood pressure for the vast majority of people is the amount of salt we consume. And the reason you know this is probably 75 to 80% of people will be able to reach a blood pressure goal of close to normal blood pressure, or at least under 130 over 80, 130 over 90, with a diuretic alone, a mild diuretic like a hydrochlorothiazide or triamterene HCTZ combination. The vast majority of people will reach good blood pressure readings with a simple diuretic. Okay? Where do you think they get most of that salt?
Processed food, I would say.
Yep, and what else?
Added to everything. Well, they put it on their own food because they've become accustomed to their taste buds needing it.
And meat, animal products.
And meat. Oh, yeah. Well, just raw meat's got a lot of salt in it, has it?
Yes, right.
Actually, pork, you have to be really careful when you're looking after pigs because they can die really quickly if they don't have access to water because they have a high have a high salination content. So they need to drink loads and loads and loads of water all the time. So if you eat pork, that must be a really salty meat all by itself.
It is, but beef can be too. So the trick is that the ranchers will feed a salt load to the cattle a couple of days before they go to slaughter. And so the cattle consume this load of salt, and they fill up with fluid behind it, so that when they go to be butchered, they might be containing 10 to 15% of their body weight may actually be more, just increased because of added water, because of the salt they just fed the cow.
And they get paid by weight, so they make more money.
Right. They're getting paid by the pound. All right, so that's number one contributor to high blood pressure in people is the fact that you're eating salty animal products. Number two, remember what we talked about, what happens when animal proteins encounter the vascular system of a person. It leads to an inflammatory response. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
It leads to an immune response where the macrophages, which is part of the immune system, they actually will come in and they try to eat up the fat and they eat up the protein and the cholesterol coming in, and those are called foam cells. And those foam cells will adhere to the side of the arteries. And over time, a collection of that forms a plaque.
Yeah.
All right? So when you have a hard plaque.
That's my bread ready. I hope Wink's going to come flying down the stairs in a second.
When you have a hard plaque that's forming inside the arteries, the artery becomes inelastic. Makes sense, right?
Mm.
All right, so remember we talked about that blood pressure when it beats, when your heart beats, a pulse of blood goes through the body, and as it does, the arteries expand along the way, and then they sort of come back in, they pull back in to maintain the pressure, okay?
Yeah.
But if the artery is inelastic, then when that pulse wave goes through, it just moves through real fast, and it causes a spike in the pressure as opposed to it being expandable, right?
Yeah.
So then you have stiff arteries, and we call it hardening of the arteries, right?
Yeah.
So you have these stiff arteries, and that naturally causes the blood pressure to be higher. How's that sound?
That sounds like a heart attack about to happen to me.
If those arteries that we're talking about are the ones around the heart and the blockages are larger, it increases the risk of having a heart attack. Because remember, a heart attack is actually when the cap or the top of one of those plaques will flip up and clot off, or it'll just spontaneously cause a clot because it's so tight. All right? So a heart attack itself is a blood clot.
Wow.
All right. So once you have vascular disease, it leads to higher blood pressures. And once you have a diet with a lot of salt in it, it leads to higher blood pressures. So we know that if you are eating animal products and processed foods with a lot of salt, that you have these two enemies of a normal blood pressure that are attacking your body. Now, there was one more thing we talked about, too. Remember the omega-6s?
Yeah.
We talked about omega-6s being inflammatory, too.
Yeah.
So you have those omega-6s coming in, and those are leading to an inflammatory response, which further worsens the coronary disease that all people in Western countries who are not vegan are experiencing, okay?
Yeah.
Now, what's the problem with having high blood pressure, though, besides the fact that it's linked to vascular disease? I mean, let's say high blood pressure itself did not cause vascular disease, or vascular disease and high blood pressure weren't associated one with the other, okay? Then what would be the problem?
Does it cause stroke?
Okay, it can, and here's the thing. Science used to think that as we got older, we had hardened arteries and that it was necessary or essential for blood pressure to go up in order for the heart to be able to get the blood to circulate throughout the body. And that's where the name essential hypertension came from.
Right.
Right? Okay, we thought it was important. And there are lots and lots of documented readings of 300 over 200 blood pressures that we thought were essential. All right, so
wow.
What happens when those blood pressures stay up and we're talking over 160, over 100, 160, over 90. We start seeing blood pressures where that top number is getting up to 180, 190. We start seeing target organ damage. So elevated blood pressure can lead to problems with the retina. So it can cause blindness, problems with the kidneys. So it leads to kidney disease. It also causes problems with the brain. It contributes to dementia. We know that people with long-term untreated high blood pressure have brains that are smaller than those who have normal blood pressures.
Oh my goodness.
Okay? So we know that having high blood pressure is a big risk for heart disease, stroke, kidney problems, and blood clots. We know this. About the only thing that it doesn't do that we know about is it doesn't contribute to an increased risk of diabetes or cancer that I'm aware of. But it sure does play into coronary vascular disease, ischemic cerebral strokes, and hemorrhagic strokes. It can lead to kidney problems, vision problems, and it can be contributing to dementia and other vascular disease, okay? So we've got all that. So here's the takeaway. Vegans have a 75% reduction in the risk of having high blood pressure.
Hurrah! It's like just win, 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 win. I haven't found a downside yet. It's just like it's such a no-brainer, isn't it? When you have the facts.
Right. So we talk about it. So when you have a whole food plant-based diet, you're not adding salt, right? Although I did add a little bit of salt to my popcorn. I admitted that. This was air popped though, so it's free.
Excellent.
But I'm not eating any processed food, so I'm really not getting much salt at all in my diet anymore, which is part of the reason why my blood pressure came back to normal when I adopted a whole food plant-based diet. So I used to be on 2 blood pressure pills, now I'm not on any.
Yeah.
Now,
fantastic.
According to the Cleveland Clinic, this is a world-renowned clinic, right up there with the Mayo Clinic or any of them, right? Mm-hmm. A vegan diet is the best diet to reduce high blood pressure and reverse vascular disease. Period.
It's just incredible, isn't it?
Isn't it?
It is. It's so simple. It's just like, if avoiding animal products and eating a whole food, plant-based, reduces hypertension, it's my new word that I know what it means, cardiac disease, heart disease, your kidney functions, all of those things as well, and reduces the amount of salt in your. It kind of all roads seem to be pointing towards the. Isn't this what we were designed to eat then? Because our bodies actually work with it. It doesn't work against our bodies and our structure. It's
healthy food versus sick food.
Yeah. Now, I've got a couple of questions. I've got one from Jackie, which I'll come to second. Laurie has said she has been told that she has gallstones. Should she be worried?
Sure, I would. Do they hurt?
Do they hurt? Let us know, Laurie. And if they're planning on doing anything. And Jackie has said... Okay.
Oh, wait, Alina. Okay, Alina says, now I almost wonder why doctors don't promote vegan. Let me answer that question for you. They don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't know. They don't know.
They don't know. I don't think they're willfully being unhelpful. You don't know what you don't know. That's the danger of not continuing to add to your knowledge base. Because things change. This was not the story 30 years ago, folks. It wasn't the story 40 years ago. When I was born, my mum was told that I should eat solid food at 4 months and I must be put to sleep face down. Then it was like, never put a baby face down, cot death. I put them face up. And then it was, don't put them face up, put them sideways. You know, solid food at 6 months. And it literally, the research changes. And so, you know, unless they're brand new doctors, and I don't think doctors get a lot of nutrition training. Ours get half a day on nutrition because there are specialists for that.
Let's see. Beverly says she's lost 50 pounds and her blood pressure is 114/62 and she's still on HCTZ. Well, Beverly, it sounds to me like if that's your real relaxed blood pressure, you may not need that hydrochlorothiazide anymore. You certainly should talk that over with your doctor, especially when you stand up, you're starting to feel lightheaded. Right.
Jackie, this is Jackie has quite a few bits and bobs that she struggles with some things with her health. She's put, so if that's the case, why was I born with hydronephrosis?
Well, that has nothing to do with this. And that's unfair to blame your diet for something you were born with.
Okay. Well, she was just wondering, that's all. And she says...
she said, but if that's true, why was I then? As if the two are connected, and they're not.
Okay, that's cool. So they're not connected.
Related.
And then she said she has very little salt in their diet, yet has constant severe kidney and bladder infections.
Yeah, I didn't say 100% of people would not need blood pressure medicine if they had a vegan diet. We said you have a 75% reduction.
Yeah.
So there are some people that have medical conditions for which they will still require blood pressure medicine. We're not saying a whole food plant-based diet is going to eliminate all disease from the planet. We're not saying that. What we're saying is that the vast majority of disease could be eliminated if we would adopt a whole food plant-based diet. That, in fact, I would estimate it somewhere around 80% of what I see patients for in my clinic on a day-to-day basis would be eliminated if people would simply adopt a healthy diet. So much so to the point where I'm trying to buy books by the bulk load so I can give them out to people to understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Jackie says, fair enough. I don't know that are you fully plant-based, Jackie? I'm not sure whether you are. I certainly would try that. She also says she takes very, very shallow breaths, never deep breaths. My thought on that would be it's good to take some deep breaths. I don't know. That was kind of like, we do shallow breathe, and I think if we take deeper breaths like children, get more oxygen into our system. Lynn is saying that she is hoping that her giant cell
arteritis.
I was going to say arthritis. Arteritis, which is vascular disease, will start to reverse.
I am too. I'm hopeful for that. Do they ever on high doses of prednisone?
Let us know, Lynn. Are you on high doses of prednisone? Not yet, Sue. Right, Jackie. You have nothing to lose by trying a whole food plant-based diet.
Absolutely not. And if a person has giant cell arteritis or temporal cell arteritis, this is an inflammatory state. If it is active, you have to go on high-dose steroids because there is a risk of blindness. So you take the medicine, but when you're done with the medicine and you're no longer having an acute phase giant cell arteritis, which it involves an artery in this part of the forehead, and so it can actually lead to an arterial connection to those to the central retinal artery, which feeds the retina, right?
Yeah.
So if inflammation blocks that off, it's almost like having a stroke in the eye. You can actually get immediate blindness. Wow. All right, so that's treated, but once it's treated, then you can adopt a whole food plant-based diet, add turmeric and add omega-3s for a while, and then just stay on the turmeric and whole food plant-based, and hopefully it won't come back.
Yeah, that's it. Right, Lynn is currently on 4.5 milligrams daily. And Lynn was on I'm on a reducing dose of
tapering dose,
whatever that thing is.
Prednisone. So once they start the prednisone, it's too late to get a biopsy. So hopefully she already had a biopsy. If she didn't have a biopsy, they just assumed the diagnosis and gave her the medicine, which is not unusual because it's not worth waiting, okay? Because the treatment with the prednisone is not dangerous. Delaying treatment for what looks very strongly like giant cell arteritis could lead to blindness, so we don't wait on that. But ideally, we'd be able to get a biopsy right away. No, Bonnie, we're not talking about inner ear at Beverly. She has a problem when she stands up. She's on diuretic. She's losing too much fluid. She changed her diet, dropped a lot of weight, and her doctor has not reduced her blood pressure medicine. It needs to be reduced.
Wow.
Okay? All right.
Yeah, when you change something, you've got to balance it out, really, because if you're taking, I would assume, you're taking medication for certain things, and you improve that by diet, that if you, it surely pushes it the wrong way. It's like giving the opposite medicine to...
Well, that's right. So we as physicians, we assume that when we put you on a medication, you're going to continue to do the things that you normally do. And if you make a dramatic change in what you do, you should let us know so that we can adjust your medicines around that. Dropping 50 pounds is a rather dramatic change. Okay, so your doctor should know if you're telling your doctor that, hey, I've lost 50 pounds and when I stand up I'm getting lightheaded. Do you think I should be on this diuretic anymore because my blood pressures are dropping down into the 60s on the diastolic side? They should take you off the medicine.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess that's why it says on every single, if you're starting a fitness regime or going on a calorie controlled diet, one of those things that we don't advocate and we like, we don't like those kind of fad diets. But if you're changing anything about your health, they always advise that you go and see your family doctor just to check because they can't know what medications you are on. Lynn's saying they had to begin treatment because she was losing her sight and she also lost consciousness. So I guess they've just whacked her on those drugs and, dealing with the symptoms.
Yeah, they didn't have a choice. They did the right thing.
And are you whole food plant-based now, Lynn? Let us know. Here, I've been quiet waiting to hear her reply. Deborah Barlow saying high blood pressure killed my uncle's kidneys. Wow. So you have first-hand knowledge of that and, that's learning a lesson, very close to home.
Hypertension, I believe, is the second leading cause of kidney failure in America, probably in the UK as well. Does anybody know what the leading cause of kidney failure is?
Alcohol.
It's like trivia day today.
No, that's liver, isn't it? Not drinking enough fluids.
Nope.
Would that be it?
Nope.
Eating animal products.
What's the leading cause of kidney failure in America and the UK too?
Who knows the answer to that then?
See,
Who can
we're
guess
trying to make sure that our audience is engaged. If you're not paying attention, you're not going to get an A. And if you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding.
Lynn was saying, I'll just tell you what Lynn was saying. She was rushed into hospital and they gave me 2 hours to live, pumping steroids into me until they got me stable. Yes, I am whole food now, Sue. Yes! Boom! Well done. Okay.
So Hank Schrader, straight from Breaking Bad, said the answer is diabetes. That's the first one to get it right over here. It is diabetes. Diabetes is the leading cause of renal disease, end-stage renal disease requiring dialysis.
Wow.
Yeah, he says diabetes, making fun of the old guy. What was his name? Man. The old oatmeal guy. The guy did all the oatmeal commercials.
Oh, gosh, I have no idea because it would...
He used to say diabetes.
Diabetes.
He said diabetes.
We've got some other... Lynn said diabetes. So she's got all her smarties lined up.
So Alina says, Dr. G, would the vegan lifestyle help people with MS? Absolutely. Because we think MS is an autoimmune disease triggered by animal proteins. And if you have a good neurologist treating your MS, they'll tell you to adopt a whole food plant-based diet. Wilford Brumley, that's right, Hank. Thank you.
The other answers we got was salt and obesity. But I guess obesity quite often goes a little bit hand in hand with diabetes, doesn't it?
They call it diabesity.
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 Yeah. So they go together.
Mm-hmm.
Salt increases your blood pressure, which leads to heart disease and kidney failure. So you see, too late, I'm already eating bananas, Lindsay said.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know what maybe she's replying to a comment from above. Yay! Yes, Lynn, you were right. Absolutely excellent. You know, there's nothing like, you know, a major situation like being rushed into hospital, being given 2 hours to live, you know, and being left with what's left after that to make you go, right, what on earth can I do to help myself? And it's just wonderful if people, because there are people out there that are going, I'll do anything, I'll pay anything, I'll see anyone, I'll go anywhere if I can just not have this. And maybe they don't know that they don't know. Well, of course, so many people don't know because they don't, but when you give this information to people, they don't believe you. They don't believe the evidence and sometimes they don't want to believe you either. You know, if we can lead more people to this, there's so many people would give their left arm just to be healthy again.
There is no medicine out there. There is no therapy out there that would have repaired my body the way a whole food plant-based diet has. None.
There you go. That's pretty powerful.
There is no alternative.
No.
Nothing.
No, that's just incredible. Lynn is also saying, I've told a relative with fibromyalgia to go vegan. Excellent. That's going to help. It's going to help tremendously. The no meat, no pudding, no thing. Lol. Oh, you're having a banana because you're having no meat and no pudding. Okay. Deborah Barler saying, I'm going back on our way of eating tomorrow. I couldn't handle the stress I was under, so I went back to old habits. Shame on me. There's no shame, Deborah. You know, we're creatures of habit, and very, very, very old pattern behaviour will poke its way through new behaviour in times of stress. And because in old past times of stress, you have a mechanism. You sit on the sofa and you eat chocolate, or you go and drink a load of beer or gin or whatever your tipple is. You know, you go and eat cakes, or you watch movies, cry, eat popcorn and eat lots of ice cream. You know, that is like, you know, every time eating popcorn. Every time when I'm not feeling well, or when someone's not feeling well, I always want to make them chicken noodle soup, which my mum and I used to call chicken noodle soup. So if I wasn't well, my mum would make this chicken noodle soup, and I loved it. And
so I'm pretty sure you're not well.
Yeah. So to me, that's like the ultimate comfort is this liquid with all these lovely noodles and I wouldn't want to eat it now, but it's the first thing that pops into my head because it is planted so early, and I'm sure it just had a massive placebo effect. Mum made chicken noodle soup and I was bouncing all over the place again. I didn't really have very much. I only had measles, and that was just about the end of what I had. I think I had chicken pox as well. So when a stress happens and you're in a new pattern of eating, a new pattern of things, you like, oh, to hell with all of that. I'm going back to the thing I learnt, and that is eat cakes, eat ice cream, watch sad movies, cry, you know, whatever the thing is that you do when you're stressed. So do not say shame on me. There is no shame. And as somebody said, and I think it might even have been you didn't fall off the wagon. You just got off for a little bit and ran alongside it. So don't worry, because you can stop that immediately by going, do you know what? No more. Whatever's in the fridge that I bought is getting tossed out, because my life and my health is more valuable than being a waste not, want not, which is what I am. I hate throwing things out. No shame in that. No shame at all. Jackie says absolutely nothing would make me happier than perfect health, but that's not happening. I know that's not happening for you, sweetheart, but you can improve the situation you're currently in hands down. And I know a load of people on here are going to agree with me by saying if you go plant-based whole food, a lot of the symptoms and syndromes and pain and inflexibility and all sorts of things that you all have felt improving within yourself, there's no reason why you can't get some of those benefits as well, Jackie. So get on it, honestly. Get on it. Get rid of the lawn sausage. That's a Scottish sausage, which I used to have one of those in a bap every morning on the way to work. Out with the lawn sausage and in with some tomatoes or something like that. Right, Deborah's saying it was the thought of possibly having breast cancer that flipped her out. I can understand your stress, sweetheart. But, you know, whole food plant-based eating is going to be the best way to tackle anything that your body is having to deal with. I've been the same last couple of weeks. I've had a fairly... Lindsay's had a family death, bless her. I'm so sorry for your loss, sweetheart. And we all need comfort now and then. Yeah, no, totally understand. It is old behaviour. When you're dab hands at this, when you've been whole food plant-based eating for like 5 and 10 years, you're going to go and get yourself a bowl of cherries and stuff yourself till you're bursting, because that's going to be comforting to you. Or you're going to get a lovely snow melon or a gorgeous, you know, I don't know, sweet potato or something. I don't know.
Dragon fruit.
Don't you think?
Sure.
Different things will become that. Have you got any questions on your side? I'm just going through all the comments because they're all just kind of coming through. Lynn's been drinking vegetable bouillon, which kept her going through the cold that she had recently. Excellent. Good job.
Watch out for the salt.
Yeah.
Loaded with salt.
Yeah. They are very salty.
Like one little thing sometimes can have a full day's amount of salt. I mean, sometimes one little cube will have more salt.
Okay. Check your pack. I know some of the bouillon, I don't buy it anymore. Because I save the water from when I steam vegetables because it tastes like whatever you've steamed, and I freeze it, so I use that when I add stuff. But you can definitely get a salt-free bouillon for sure. Yeah, Elena, you're right. I just give anything to my pigs, but only if it's fruit or vegetables. Oh, they get the odd slice of bread when that goes off. But apart from that, that's all they have. Good, Jackie doesn't eat lawn sausage. Terrible beast, that is. Laurie is saying she's in a lot of pain. She fell last week, a week ago, and her acid reflux is really bad. Are you whole food plant-based, Laurie? Let us know, and I'm sure Dr. Gilmore will have some ideas for you.
She's aggravated. She fell, so you can almost see what happened, right? She fell and she hurt herself. She might or might not have been to see a doctor. It doesn't matter. She's probably taking an over-the-counter anti-inflammatory medicine to help with sore muscles.
Yeah.
And that anti-inflammatory medicine may have been naproxen or ibuprofen, and either one of those can cause significant irritation to the stomach and the esophageal lining. So it's not unusual for people to come in after they've had a fall or something like that and tell us, oh, and by the way, now I'm having this upset stomach and reflux thing. Well, what they did was they went out and they started taking an analgesic that caused the reflux problem. So the first thing we have to do is get them off of that, get them on something different for the discomfort, and then treat the reflux along with the other problems with a muscle relaxer or tramadol or something like that.
Right, there you go, Laurie.
A sequence of events.
There, everything has a knock-on effect. Deborah Barlow just wanted to let everyone know on your side that her breast cancer tests were negative. So really, really pleased to hear that. Really pleased to hear that for you, sweetheart. Yeah, I love fruit. You can't beat it, can you? Fruit is literally nature's sweeties or candy. It's just delicious. I can't wait for all the fruit to come into season again. No, I don't have a cough actually. I am perfectly fine. I don't know why, but maybe because I'm I'm golloping food down like a dog at this end. Probably not so good. So, has anyone got any other questions? Anything else you would like to ask? I think I've covered all the ones on my side. Have you got any questions on your side?
No, I just had a Meta 7 question, but not a big question for the group.
Okay.
Let's see. Cora asked if a whole food plant-based diet would help with her pulmonary arterial hypertension, PAH, and I told her I didn't know, and I don't have any research that says it will, so I won't say that it will. That would be unfair. I told her I didn't think it would hurt, though.
Yeah. Cool.
I didn't think any, and we talked. There's more discussion about the blood pressure stuff that we talked about earlier, but nothing specific.
So I've got a question myself. If somebody is told, if they're recommended a gastric bypass or a gastric band or some kind of
sleeve,
something like that.
Yeah.
Is that, if they were to go whole food plant-based?
Is it better to go whole food plant-based than to have the gastric sleeve?
Well, that would naturally seem so. But if somebody's, quite overweight, maybe their doctor is prescribing that as a stitch in time, excuse the pun there, rather than...
Well, look,
because it takes a long time to lose that amount of weight.
Medical science doesn't understand that if you switch to a whole food, we know it, we have the research, but as a whole, it's not commonly accepted that converting to a whole food plant-based diet can reverse the chronic obesity and it can reverse the diabetes and the high blood pressure and all the problems. But it has been proven that a gastric bypass or a gastric sleeve does reduce or eliminate diabetes, and usually within, guess how long? 6 to 10 weeks, which is of the same length of time it takes if you convert to a whole food plant-based diet, right? It's really...
Yeah, Beverly got her 4 years of diabetes done in about 11, 12 weeks, didn't she?
Yeah, isn't that amazing? So,
wow.
They just don't know. Also,
parallel. It's like the left and the right hand not knowing what the other's doing.
It's not that once you start figuring this all out and the light bulbs start going off and you start making all these connections and you say, oh, wait a minute. No wonder okay, I got it. It's all very simple. It's all related to this problem that we have, this addiction or infatuation with animal protein. We think we have to have it and we don't.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, but when you've known something for like 50 years and you've totally believed it and all your ancestors have believed it and it's just how society is, it's very hard for people to change those beliefs because they've got so many emotions attached to the food.
Primary care doctors are not taught that you can cure type 2 diabetes with diet. They just don't believe it. They've seen it happen, but they don't teach it. Also, you can't prescribe a medication if you're doing that, or you usually don't. The objective is to not need medications. They don't get paid. We don't get paid for counseling time in the clinic. We just don't. We can't document an hour's worth of time, right? It takes a lot of concern and effort to try to convert somebody to a whole food plant-based eating system. It's not something that people feel is natural or normal. So like we talked about before, it'd probably be easier for me to try to get somebody to become a Muslim than it would be for them to become a vegan, right?
Oh, it's very hard.
It's just very difficult.
Because it basically, depending on what the person is like, the character of the person or their self-esteem or whether they can take criticism, they will see that. People often take, the research as a personal assault on their opinions and beliefs. Right. And that some people can't accept when they're wrong or they've made a mistake. They just can't face going, oh God, that was all my fault. They will want to blame people. So to be told that thing that you believed is wrong, you are wrong, that research is outdated, this is the right research, they won't look at it because they put that barrier up of half the planet can't be wrong, rah, rah, rah. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
It's mental. It's mindset.
So that same primary care doctor, what they do is they're dealing with a person with a body mass index probably of 40 to 45, maybe even 50. These are enormous people, and they don't want to mess with it. They can't help them. They know diets aren't going to work. These people, their overeating is so entrenched. They know that it's going to be very unlikely that they're going to make a change. And for them, a referral to see, an obesity doctor, or a doctor like Dr. Garth Davis, or many of the other hundreds or thousands of them out there that do the procedures, is the right thing to do. And I refer people, if you come to me in my clinic and you have a body mass index of over 40, I will automatically refer you to see a bariatric surgeon.
Yeah.
Period. That's medical. That's what I'm going to do.
Because the actual morbid obesity can be can be kind of stopped quicker with surgery than by changing eating habits.
We can still get them on a whole food plant-based diet.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Down the road, but
maybe you can't wait the time for their weight to get into a safe band.
Right. It might take them 2 years to get that much weight off. Even if they were motivated, and these people, they're typically not motivated. They're not motivated to make a change. Yeah, they don't feel good. I feel rotten. If I'm going to go make myself feel better, I'm going to order 3 large pizzas from Domino's and I'm going to eat them all.
Yeah.
That's how they're going to feel good, right? I mean, the deep psychological addiction to food and the need for comfort through food is it's a powerful thing, and so when they've gone to the point where their body mass index is 40, these are people that are 120 to 150 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
Like, these are people that have another person inside of them. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how much fat we're talking about. We're talking a lot of fat here.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, sure, you can make the change, but at that point,
it's probably better to go gastric and then diet.
It's time for a surgical intervention. We don't want to take the risk that they're not going to, because their next sign of a problem may be a heart attack, or their next sign of a problem may be a stroke. So
right. That's very interesting, because I just like to go plant-based whole foods. You can't go wrong. Just try it. It's going to be better for you, but. There's a point where actually that needs to happen first, or they might not make it that long, or do you know what I mean? Because they're too heavy and there's too many other factors coming in, because everything's under so much strain.
When they're that heavy, they're in denial so deep. Yeah. I mean, these are the people that will tell me they don't overeat. Okay?
I eat a lettuce leaf.
They have one small hamburger patty a day, and that's it, and that's all they eat. And I've had 350-pound people, tell me the equivalent of that, and I like to say, I can't help you. Why not? Well, because the pills only help you eat less. You're not eating anything. I just play into the delusion with them and to send them to psychiatry because they need therapy.
Yeah. It's in their head.
Yeah, we're not going to fix them in my office. They need a lot of therapy. They need to be in Overeaters Anonymous. They need to be in groups. They need to be under psychiatric care. And then at some point, they probably need a gastric sleeve. And even those, the vast majority of them, within 5 years, they gain a lot of their weight back.
Yeah, because they stretch out
the stomach again.
The new thing, don't they?
And the crazy thing is they're still malnutritioned at that point.
Yes.
As soon as you do the bypass, you become malnourished because you can no longer absorb the vitamin. Remember we talked about intrinsic factor and all that the other day?
Yeah.
Okay, so you start losing the ability to absorb nutrients from your food, and so that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a real problem. And at no point were human beings ever designed to seek comfort in food. That was just what sustains us. Comfort was supposed to be found in each other and community and groups and closeness. Food isn't a comfort blanket, but it's associated with that because of the way we advertise food. Like, you even said it in a joking fashion earlier, eat your greens up or else you won't have pudding, like pudding is the treat. If you eat that, you can have that. And we get that when we're kids, and so we associate, like Wink associates cream cakes with being a massive treat because it was a special thing and they were expensive, and he felt all like, so he's clamped all those feelings onto cream cakes, and we do that when we're little. You know, we never had any pudding anyway. We've never really been a pudding family. So, you know, I never really had any puddings. But that's the wrong thing, because when you're bringing up tiny little children, you're telling them that the pudding is better than the bit that actually you're bribing them with the pudding to make them eat, because that's the important bit. You know, right. It's like, oh, when you've eaten that, or you can have a lovely bowl of cherries, or you can have this carrot to gnaw on, or whatever, I don't know. But it's in our psyche, so then we become, we attach good feelings to that food, and that food becomes the thing that we eat. Or the sensation of the chewing and the swallowing it, it's the kind of the texture of the food is very important. When we're thinking of comforty foods, we always think of something like mashed potato or pasta or ice cream or something soft and squidgy. You know, it's not often like a whole load of crunchy carrots for comfort, is it? It's always something heavy.
I had cauliflower for snack last night.
Did you?
It was delicious. I had cauliflower, a little bowl of cauliflower florets, and you know,
they're nice, aren't they?
They're delicious.
I really like raw cauliflower. I always have done. I like the little leaves as well, the little light, pale green leaves that lick around the sides of them. Right, I've got some. Right, somebody asked. That's great. Blah 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 blah. I think it was Lynn asked. I would like to know why I've always been told that we need a certain amount of salt in our diet. Is that...
Because you do. You have to have some salt.
Yeah, but we find enough salt just in plants and fruit. We don't need to add salt, do we?
You don't need to add salt for the most part. The only patients I've had to tell them to add salt were the ones that were on salt-depleting diuretics. And I didn't want to take them off the medicine because they still had some peripheral edema, so I left them on the diuretic and just said, sprinkle just a little bit of salt on one meal a day. That's it.
Yeah.
In our food system, if you eat out at all, you're getting plenty of salt. In fact, most of your packaged food is loaded with salt. Canned soups are full of salt. I mean, it's even in your soft drinks. Your diet drinks are loaded with salt.
Yeah.
And we don't see a lot of salt deficiency in America. We don't see any protein deficiency either. So
no, absolutely. Carol's saying that her lipoma stitches come out on Friday and everything's good, but it's itching like crazy today. I know about the itching, babes. I'm glad it's all going well for you. Hi, Carol. She's got home from doing errands. We've got two Carols. Two Carols have just joined. Tofu. She had a side of tofu and cashew nut stir fry, which was delicious. Right, I've asked Lynn's question. Lindsay had an argument with someone about the iron content in vegetables versus meat. You can just Google it and send them the link. Don't be falling out.
That's a foolish argument right there.
Sorry?
That's a foolish argument to make. Where do they think the cows get the iron?
I know. It's just like, hello, put your brain on to answer this question. Yes, Carol saying she remembers in the 70s when everyone was scared of garlic. How funny. Right, Elena is asking, Dr. G, what do you think of the doctor in Texas who helps people with weight loss surgery? I think the show is called My 600-Pound Life. Have you come across that?
What do I think of it? I mean, I think that that it's Hollywood. What you're seeing is not real.
Okay, cool.
That's what I think. Okay, number one. Number two, in almost every one of those instances, and I've watched a few of them because I find it fascinating that people let themselves get that big.
Yeah.
That's because I like to study people. But I will tell you that in every one of those cases, there is somebody bringing food to that person.
Yeah.
Every person, in every case. Because when you reach the point where you can no longer walk, you have to lie out on a blanket or a towel all day. You can't wear clothes.
Yeah.
You can't toilet yourself. Somebody has to come behind you and remove your feces. that you aren't going to Kroger shopping on your own, okay?
Yeah.
You're getting food brought to you. In every one of those cases, there is an enabler that is causing that person to be so big.
Yeah.
In every case.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I guess they're caught in it must be difficult when, I mean, you see some people with their kids, you know, they've got 14-year-old kids who can't walk and they're just, oh, but you know, he's just so hungry and it's so hard to see him suffering. It's just like, yeah, but look at him now, you know, look at him now. Yeah, you're right. You're really right. Somebody's feeding all these people.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I just think it's interesting. I like to try to figure out who is it a spouse? Is it a girlfriend? Because it's usually, you know, or a boyfriend. Is it a child? Is it a parent? I watched one with a man, and he said, "Well, y'all better not ever tell me that I overeat, because I'll tear you up for that." You know, just, you know, like, oh, he's 600 pounds, but he doesn't overeat, right? And his wife was like, because she knows she's the one feeding him. He's the one, oh, come on, honey, let me have one more piece of that pie. Let me have one more fried chicken.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
How do they afford to feed them? They must just think
it's expensive. It's very expensive.
It must be. Mean, I saw something the other day and there was this, I think he was 27 and he had a little boy who was 2 and a wife, and he decided that he was mentally prepared. He was ashamed that he wasn't able to get down on the floor to play with his son.
Yeah.
But it had taken him 2 years from that to realise that. And the gastric, you know, they were going to do you know, gastric surgery on him. And the doctor was, you know, worried about his weight. He was literally laying flat on his chest, but his head was about 2 feet off the ground because his chest was so big that his head was like in midair, you know, like just hanging out. It's like, I was like, couldn't work it out. But the guy was just like, yes, he's mentally in the right place. So he started, you know, he lost some weight, I think, you know, in a couple of weeks.
They make them start with some weight loss, and if they can't do it, then they know they won't succeed with the operation. So
yeah, so he started doing that, and then there was this, you know, you saw him there, and his little kid running around, and he's on this giant low, like a king size bed, just filling it with, as you said, just a towel over him, a towel. And then the next, you know, then they went to, you know, to look at another case, you know, and then they showed him running, you know, the son running around with him. And then it said, you know, unfortunately, Gary died 2 days after this shot, you know. Yeah. It was all too late. He's 27. It was all too late, you know. It was just like terrible.
He literally ate himself to death.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. On the whole opposite side of that, Jackie said that she lost between 6 and 7 stone. So that's 70... it's like 94 90 pounds. That's like 90 pounds in weight. She's put on 20 again, but she's on her way back down again. And Jackie, I think, is going to go whole food plant-based, aren't you, Jackie? See, that's me giving you a little pointy finger. Bit of encouragement. My beady eye and my pointy finger. Like they're magic wands.
You're taking your meat away.
Yeah, get away from that meat. Lindsay Tivy is saying her relationship with food is very unhealthy. It's great that you recognise that.
Yep.
And that's literally, if you know that, then you won't be in the no camp. You'll be in the, do you know what? That's not going to get you any more healthy than you are now. I don't know what your health situation is, but it's, you know, if you've got a bad relationship with food and you eat the wrong food, you know, every day we get older, it's never going to get better if we keep feeding ourselves the wrong thing and getting older as we go. So really, I'm guessing you're not a whole food plant-based yet. Really, get rid of the meat and the dairy. Start there.
Proteinaholic.
Sorry?
I said read the book Proteinaholic.
Yeah, read the book Proteinaholic. Jackie's saying that's correct. I hope that was in my pointy fingers, get on a whole food plant-based diet. Soup when you're poorly too, yeah. What causes vertical, this is Cindy, hi Cindy. What causes vertical ridges in fingernails? Ridges, I think that might be, in fingernails.
Vertical ridges?
Vertical.
It could be lots of causes.
Yeah.
Some of it's normal. Ridges, fingernails just have ridges. I don't think that's abnormal.
Okay.
There's a condition called clubbing, where somebody has chronic hypoxia or hypoxemia, and they'll have a condition called clubbing. We see that with people with pulmonary disease and heart disease. There are some fungal skin infections that can lead to nail problems with changes in the normal pattern of ridges. And of course, rarely there are cancers that can involve the base of the nail, but typically speaking, vertical ridges are normal. If you want me to look at a picture, just email me a picture. I'll be happy to tell you if that looks normal or not. The other thing is you can do is go on Google and just put in normal fingernails, and then look at the pictures and see what they look like. See if what you're looking at looks normal or not.
I'm just putting your email address up at I'm putting the email up for you, babes, in case you don't have it. It's it's John Gilmore, not Dr. Gilmore. It's John Gilmore at
John Gilmore MD at Mac.com.
Yeah, I've just put Dr. Gil. You've got so many different platforms with Doctor on the top. Right, that's
John
his email
Gilmore
address,
MD.
Sweetheart.
John Gilmore MD at Mac.com.
Yeah, I got that. Food can be an addiction. Absolutely, it is. Elena's saying, my dad wouldn't let us leave the table until we ate everything, and he would give us a huge adult portions. I actually fell asleep at the table. You went into a food coma at the table as a kid. Oh dear.
Probably got bored.
Sorry?
You probably got bored. They probably got bored and went to sleep.
Yeah. So, food can be an addiction. I struggle with carbs. The struggle is real. It's my only addiction in life.
I don't struggle with carbs. I just eat them. That's what I eat. I only eat carbs.
Mrs. J, welcome. I haven't seen you on here before, I don't think. My apologies if I'm incorrect, but welcome. What kind of carbs is it you're addicted to, Mrs. J? Let us know, and maybe we can help you with some yummy substitutes. Maybe what you're addicted to isn't harmful. Depends what kind of food you mean. Let us know. Laurie is not plant-based yet. Laurie, get plant-based, babes. Literally, just do it. Just try it for a week. Try it for 2 days. You start somewhere. It's really not as hard as you think it is. In your head, it is 100 times harder than it actually really is in real life. I promise you. Just try it, babes. Right, I'm Dr. Jude. I have enough health problems at my weight. I can't imagine weighing 3 times as much. Well, yeah, I can't. I don't know at what point do these, 600-pound people, realise they have a problem, or at what stage do they think this is ridiculous? I can hardly walk now, or I can't. There isn't anything.
Most of them, I think when they lose their mobility, I think that's when they really start seeking help. When they can't get out of the house. So you've seen stories where the fire department has to be called, and they actually have to cut through the wall to get a stretcher in to get people. And sometimes the gurney or stretcher is too small, and they have to bring in a special one just to get them into the hospital. When they get in and they need an MRI, they have to use special equipment that's designed for much, much heavier people. All of it is non-standard. So when they lose their mobility, usually that's the time when they start seeking help. And
it's way too late,
and
really,
that's
isn't
why,
it?
and that's why there's an enabler, because they can't get up to the kitchen, they can't cook for themselves, they can't even get the food into the room. Somebody's bringing them food. Okay, so there's not just one sick person involved. There's at least two in every one of these situations. So the game for me, when I watch those, and I haven't watched it in a while, but the game for me is always to try to figure out who's the other sick person in this relationship. I know for sure who one of them is. The other question is, who's the other one?
Yeah.
Because they don't always make it obvious as to who is enabling that patient. But there's always an enabler.
Yeah, there is. But it depends how the relationship, maybe the obese person is the bully or the controller or has the psychological up on that they dare not feed them because, there's lots of abusive relationships, aren't there, between people. And, from, people not being able to look at their own phones and, people checking up on their phones, that's a form of abuse. But before they were disabled by food, if you like, and they couldn't move about, maybe they were the bully and the other person daren't do that. And then that's a pattern of behaviour within their relationship, isn't it? Just because they're like a stuck pig on a bed and they can't move.
Could be, but it is a really serious problem, and it's, you just want to shake your head and you want to blame the person, but they have a significant disease, they have a significant problem, and these people die. These people die without the invasive care that they need. They die just like the one you were talking about.
Yeah. And they even die after the surgery, don't they? Even
absolutely.
There was a woman that was. It was a massive program about her, and it followed her, and she was losing loads of weight, and but she was kind of like she couldn't get up or anything, and she had the surgery, and about 3 or 4 weeks after the surgery, she died of a massive heart attack. And it was just like, oh, we thought she was going to make it, because this was actually a documentary, a sort of a Hollywoody documentary. It was a British woman. It's just like awful. That's Jackie, horrid. I'm going to try, Sue. I put on 2 stone, not 20. No, I knew you meant 2 stone, but it's around 20 pounds. I'm translating the stone for our wonderful American friends who can't think in stone.
How many dollars is that? 20 pounds?
It's 20 pounds is, I don't know, $24, is it? Something like that.
So she was up
$24? She put on $24. Yeah, it's £14 to a stone.
14 pounds per stone. That's right.
So I was talking in pounds because I know a lot of people don't understand the stone. When I told them my weight in stone just before I went in to have my cyst removed, the doctors were just falling about laughing. Oh my God, I love you do the stone thing. I just don't know how you do that. Oh, they were just all over the place laughing. It was really funny. That was cute. Right. Re-addiction. Sugar is an addictive and carbs metabolize into sugars. Simple something I can't read. Explanation. Oh, right. She's talking to Laurie.
Okay, so let's get one more question, and then we're an hour and a half in. I'm ready to call it a day here.
Absolutely.
Let's call it one more, and then the next time we're going to meet is, let's see, I wrote this down. We're going to be going 6 Thursday, so 6 p.m. my time, which is midnight your time.
Midnight, Thursday. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. So I will put a video out. I will remind you. I probably won't do a trashing John Lewis and their awful service video, so you won't be seeing that pop up on my feed. I'm all scared now. So it's going to be midnight. I know that might be a bit late for you, Jackie. And Madge isn't on tonight, but someone might be a bit late, but you can catch the replay. If you want to ask any questions and you won't be able to make the live show, why don't you put them in the comments of our little reminder videos? Because I know Dr. Gilmore does them as well. And just let us know what you want us to cover, and then we can chat about some of those topics, because sometimes we don't get very many questions, which is fine. We get some chat and we're here to build each other up. So, you know, excellent. So, yeah, we'll be here at midnight my time, and we'll be here at 6 p.m. Texas time. Texas time, y'all!
4 p.m. California, 5 o'clock New York, midnight London.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to that. And, of course, Thursday is a fasting day. So everybody who does fasting will all be fasting together. I've kind of forgotten about fasting, probably when we switch the days, to be honest. So that will be me fasting again on Thursday. And the Mrs. J, can we just, because Mrs. J is new, the carbs she eats is potatoes, bread and pasta at every sitting. I'm slowly replacing high carb food with better choices for instant toasted radishes.
I think that's a problem. Obviously, eating bread and potatoes and pasta every meal is not healthy.
Yeah.
We recommend the 80-10-10, right? 80% fresh fruits and vegetables, 10% mushrooms, 10% nuts, seeds, and grains. So if you'll stick to that, you're not going to find that weight is a problem. If you do, then you may have an eating problem where you need to, learn how to take control of what you're eating.
Yeah, that may be. I know I used to, I'd always want something dumphy like that. I was never really a bread eater, but potatoes, definitely. Pasta and creamy, cheesy, milky, cheesy, creamy sauces. That was my idea of like, almost hoover it up. It'd be gone. But you can change some of those pastas. So like I eat green pea fusilli, which is made of one ingredient, green peas. So really it's a vegetable. Change out some of those pastas, get rid of all that wheat-based pasta, and you can get like chickpea pasta. You can get rice pasta, a little bit different. Maybe swap out your pastas to begin with, and swap your white potatoes for sweet potatoes. Similar texture, similar consistency, a whole heck of a lot better for you. Try that, Mrs. J, and do come back and let us know how you're doing. And there was one person that said, I'm only eating a bit of meat and fish, but I'm getting them sustainably sourced and free range, etc. It's still an animal protein.
You get a free range heart attack then.
Yeah.
Then you get a free range heart attack.
Yeah, high quality.
High quality heart attack. That's right.
It's not the trashiness of the meat. It's not the way it's being kept. That adds to it. Okay. It's the type of protein that animal fat is, whether it be dairy, whether it be, eggs, milk, whether it be the flesh. That's what causes all these things that Dr. G is telling you about. So it doesn't matter if it's line caught salmon and, the king of salmon. It's still the animal protein that our bodies isn't designed to digest, which is why we end up getting sick. Okay? So,
which is why if you're sick and you come off of all of that and you adopt a whole food plant-based diet, you're going to achieve significant health improvement. And everybody that's doing it is getting it.
Yeah.
Everybody that's changing over is getting healthier. Their blood pressures are coming down. Their weight is coming down.
Yeah.
Diabetes is improving or going away.
Yeah.
Their cholesterol is coming down. If they have coronary heart disease, their coronary disease is improving. Yeah. A lot of people are having autoimmune diseases that are improving. Their lupus is improving. Their rheumatoid arthritis is improving. Look, we're seeing this all over the place. Yeah. This is not an isolated phenomenon. This is happening everywhere. We're seeing this in so many arenas that it's absolutely foolish to doubt that this is true. The only question isn't if you're going to do this, it's when. It's when are you going to make the change? When are you going to stop using your body as a trash compactor disposal unit for whatever the marketing companies decide to call healthy food and have you shove it down your throat? I mean, come on, deep fried beef? Are you kidding me? Are we really that stupid? That's what we're doing. I mean, we're taking stuff that is highly processed. It's loaded with calories and sugar and salt, and we're deep frying it, man. And we're putting that in our bodies, and we wonder why we don't feel good.
Yeah.
That's absolutely trash. And I was a victim of that kind of thinking and eating for years and years and years. I thought I was fine. I felt good, lots of energy, but I was killing myself. And I know people that are young. I know people that haven't made it to my age that ate the same thing that I did. So I mean, except for the Lord, goeth I there too. I mean, I'm alive. I've made the change, and now I'm getting the message out. Look, you don't have to eat like an animal. Don't be an animal. Don't eat pigs and cows and chicken and fish and eat eggs and dairy products. Don't put that stuff in your body. You don't need it. Don't eat deep fried foods and stay away from processed vegetable oils. Stay away from that stuff. Eat whole foods, plant-based, mostly fruits and vegetables with mushrooms, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. And if you'll stick to that, you're going to find that the weight's going to come off, and that your diabetes, if you're type 2, is going to go away, that your kidney function is going to dramatically improve, that your blood pressure is going to come down, like we just said, 75% lower risk of high blood pressure if you're vegan, that your risk of coronary heart disease is going to drop dramatically, your risk of stroke is going to drop dramatically, your risk of blood clots forming in different parts of your body is going to drop dramatically. So it's your risk of cancer drops also dramatically. All of this gets better. Okay. And all you have to do is stop putting the animal protein into your body. It's not whether the animal came from the feedlot or it was grass-fed or not. That's really not the story here. The story is it's the animal. The story is that we're eating way too much in the form of these proteins. And the healthiest people on the planet eat very, very little animal products. If anything, they have a very small piece of fish once a week, and I mean small like garnish size, okay?
A sardine size.
Yeah, very, very small.
That big.
Okay, and you talk about the Mediterranean diet, and people are like, oh yeah, that's a healthy diet. And you look at what goes out as a Mediterranean diet in America today, it is lots and lots of oils and pastas and fish. And it's not any better than the rest of it. That's not how those people ate. They ate a very plant-based diet with olives, not with olive oil. They ate the olives. There's a big difference there, guys. One's a processed oil, one's a fruit.
Yeah.
I mean, or vegetable, whatever you want to call it. I think it's a fruit, right? Okay, so it's not safe. So don't eat this way. Make yourself healthier. And it's a decision you make. You can make this decision anytime you want, but at some point, you need to. And at some point, when you get tired of feeling sick and being obese and taking lots of pills, and every time you go in to see your doctor, they smile and write you out a bunch of prescriptions, whenever you get tired of that and you're ready to make the change, we have the answer. It's really very simple. It's a whole food, plant-based diet approach to living. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's enough for me. So thank you for the visit, guys. Everybody that was here, thanks. A lot of fun. I enjoyed talking about high blood pressure, and I'll try to think of something for next Sunday. But for Thursday, it'll just sort of be a bring your questions day. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And none of this is pointed at anyone in particular. It's just the word that needs to get out there. And there are lots of people that will watch this who don't come on live because, 200 or 300 people watch this every week. And, obviously there are not 200 or 300 people on here now. So everybody in their own journey is doing the great thing. And I know that a lot of you are making positive changes. I know some of you might need to hear a few more sentences, but it's like the more information you have, the more you can pass it out, the more you can give this gift of health to people that you know, because you're not all unique. The whole of the Western world is getting sick. Okay, so nothing Dr. G is saying is pointed at anyone individually. It's just like, please just give it a go. Please just give it a go. That's all. So don't, just wanted to put that out there.
And for those of you who are readers, there's a new book that's out. I'll let you know about it if you weren't aware. Dr. Ornish has a new book. It's called Undo It.
Ooh.
So I need to get that and read it too, but you might want to look for that. It could be another nice weapon in the arsenal
Yeah.
of helping people
in the arsenal of it, right? I think I've got some free books coming from Audible, because I get a free book every month, and I think I've got 3 stockpiled up now. Yeah, absolutely. Ada's right. Ada's a new one. She's kind of made the plant-based change last week, her and her husband together. Yeah, it's just lovely. You're all encouraging each other. So be healthy. Make it a plant or a vegetable. Don't eat anything that's got a face on it or came out of a chicken's bottom or out of a cow's udder. I think that covers just about all of it. Eat some whole fresh vegetables. Try some raw cauliflower. It's really nice. It's much nicer than cooked cauliflower.
It's really good.
All right. So excellent. So I will see you on Thursday.
All right.
Lots of love to you. Thanks so much for joining live. Okay, cheerio.
Bye.